that work? I hope so. Good morning, everybody. I go back on that, back and forth on. It doesn't feel weird to do that here as an opening, as a greeting, because it is morning. But yet, it's interesting how it's different in my head from at work, where I always used to get annoyed by that. I still do. It's just like, it's this socially obligated greeting. Obviously you mean it, but at the same time, you're not trying to start a conversation. Most people, it's just a quick little, an acknowledgement that you are another living being. It's that, good morning, they say good morning. Very rarely does it go beyond that. Even if it does, it's like, how's it going? That's another just quick little thing. But anyway, I don't know why I'm thinking about that this morning. I don't know why I'm thinking about if this is working. You may have noticed I'm trying to go back because the audio quality is better out of something like that. Instead of, oh, there's a little bunny rabbit next to the car. Instead of just straight out the wireless mic or out the camera itself. But I had trouble with lav mics before, coming undone or losing the foam or something like that. Quite literally is a bunny right next to the car, which is nice. Oh, you're going to leave before the camera starts up? Okay. Anyway, when we were out before, it was 2 times ago that I was wearing them. You could see them. And then I went and last time still wore them. No idea if the audio sounded good on Saturday. What you doing? Little bunny just right next to the car hopping around. Well, wait a minute before I get out. Anyway, what's the point? The lav mics, I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out a solution. I thought, okay, since that I went out, and it's ridiculous to have 2 of them as well, just to be clear, but one of them is straight into a recorder that will capture the whole thing, and that's the better quality, so that's the main one, and then I have a backup that goes into the wireless for this, so that there's a backup. So having 2 is nice, and I thought, oh, well, it's a little much to be wearing them, and it's an extra hassle and do all those things. Maybe I can try taping them. I know that that's a pretty common thing, but because of the amount of layers that I wear, taping them, under the clothes, as you often do, taping them to the chest, just not really that much of an option. And also a lot of those like stick-on things are one-time use. I really hate doing one-time throwaway things, or even multiple, like just disposable stuff. I try to avoid doing that whenever possible. Try to get something that will last much longer, like a clip. But I went, okay, it's disposable, but especially you can buy it in such quantities. I got the cloth tape and some foam, and I tried taping that to the inside of the shirt on Saturday, and when I got back, they were not under the shirt. They had fallen down entirely. I have no idea if I got any usable audio at all from Saturday. I certainly hope so, because I'm pretty sure we talked a good bit. I have no idea. So, back to the clips up at the top, and we'll hope and see. I don't know. I'm still figuring stuff out. We're still trying things. It is what it is. I've also had weird interference with the wireless mics and the other recorder itself, radio interference, because one of them is wireless, obviously, so it helps to move the clip, or the actual mic, the body, the receiver, all the way down off. Actually, I think that's a transmitter. Technically, it receives to the camera. It doesn't matter. What are we doing? We need to get out there. I've been to this place many times. It's tried and true. Should see birds here today. This was definitely the first winter after we moved here, because we moved right towards the end of summer. I spent a bit of time exploring everything, and then kind of landed on this spot as like, this is a go-to. It's not too crowded. There's very little people here most of the time. It's across the street from St. Vrain, but it is basically still near a highway, so there's a lot of noise. It's going to be what it is. But I don't know. Excuse me. I came here and did video quite a few times, and have walked around doing photo. I don't remember if I've walked around with a camera on the chest the whole time. So there's something different, because I try to strive to do something a little different, so it's not exactly the same every time. Unless I've done that before, in which case, did I do it at the end of October? Maybe it looks different. I don't know. Let's go see what birds we can see. I can go now. It's a really pretty sunrise. Lost my magnet. Well, I'm walking it back one more time, but I think I'm about to give up. The wireless mic that I was just talking about that's in my pocket, I thought, oh, let me put the magnet that's on there and stick it to the outside of my jacket to hold it in place. And then I went and grabbed my glove out of my pocket and went, yeah, that's probably not the best idea. It's probably going to fall off while I'm walking around. And it did. Little tiny square little magnet. Very useful to have. Gone. I've walked up and down 3 or 4 times now. Oh well, let's get back to bird watching. It got really dark. Well, that didn't go as expected. We still got 2 lav mics here. Looks like it, with foam. Okay, that's good. But we are missing something. So when I was sitting in the car earlier, I had everything as usual, and I was talking about the lav mics, and in my pocket, I was talking about the little wireless mic that's connected to one of them. And I took it, and I thought, I will take the magnet off the back, it's got a little magnet, and stick that magnet to the outside of my jacket and just hold it in place here. And I recorded that bit, and I got all the cameras out the back, and I started walking around, and I was, 5 minutes into this. I walked a little in the parking lot and was looking at a beautiful sunrise. There's some clouds way off in the distance. I didn't see anything like what it has turned into. And I walked a little bit down the path and then went, oh, hands are cold. Gloves are in pockets. Pulled the gloves out and went, ooh, that makes a lot of sense. As soon as putting the magnet on the outside means that as soon as I bump it in the pocket, like pulling out the gloves, the magnet drops. Magnet's gone. I walked from the spot I'd gotten to, maybe 5 minutes that way, back up and forth about 3 or 4 times. And then right here at the end, I did one final really thorough look through. I don't know where it is. I really am surprised that it came off and it didn't just fall immediately onto the camera that I hold on this hip right over here that's covered in a metal cage with metal all around it and attached with a metal buckle. Like, I looked. I really hate that I lost something, and I hate that I've left a magnet somewhere out there. Sucks. Oh well, it is what it is. Overall, it was, a very short trip, much shorter than I expected. As I mentioned, the weather, it changed rather abruptly, which is something I've heard about in Colorado. There are signs all over the place. It's like, hey, be careful. Like when we first got here in the mountains, it was like, weather can change abruptly here. Yeah, that makes sense. It can go from sunny to snowy, apparently very quickly. And it's not snowing, but boy, is there thick fog all of a sudden. The clouds and the fog literally, it came in like, in a way I've never expected. I was just out there walking around. I've been, we've been doing this for years now and going out in the weather. I've never had it with such a dramatic change. It felt like someone was pulling a blanket over. Like, it just went immediately to darkness, and I turned around and there's just fog rolling in. I wore the chest camera the whole time, so there's probably a point where I definitely looked around with like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened? But it was cool while we were out there. I definitely took pictures of a thing. I saw a heron at one point, but it had just taken off so very early, technically before the sunrise, I believe, is when we got here today. So I was still in video mode from last time I was using the camera, so I just narrowed in on that. Is that going to come out? I highly doubt it. But I saw a heron for a moment, and then walked around a bit and saw some white-crowned sparrows, which I like those. I like the color patterns on the head, so that's really cool. I took some pictures of those that I didn't expect to come out either. That's usually first thing in the morning, very early. You don't get the best possible photos when there's just not really enough light. It's kind of the whole principle of photography, so I didn't expect those to come out either, but it was looking hopeful, and walked around a bit more, and then all of a sudden the blanket of darkness came, and you could barely see across the water as it is now. Like, I understand that's water and there's a lot more mist coming off of it. I did the best that I could to just I grabbed the other camera and started doing some video of the fog rolling off of the water and the amount of thick, just some foggy photos and, weather. I think the last time something that was that foggy, I went ahead and went, okay, well, I'm going out anyway because I expected there to be heavy fog and lots of clouds. That's what the weather called for. But when I looked at the forecast this morning and it said partly cloudy, so I expected some clouds, which is what it was when we arrived, so I didn't think twice about it. And I certainly didn't look over this direction as to where the just thick darkness was coming from. Probably should not call it that. Where the weather was coming from. So I didn't see anything like that, and I wasn't expecting that. The last time when we came out, it was something similar to that. I expected it, so I just did video in the fog and went, that's kind of fog's kind of creepy. It's, darkness, and it's cool, so I expected to do that. This just came out of nowhere. It was like a sunny day like normal, and nothing doing, and then all of a sudden, hey, where'd the sun go? And then whoosh, here comes the clouds. So it is fully and entirely like 100% cloud coverage. And when I looked at the forecast, I saw storms north in Wyoming. Like, I could see on the map the border of here's Colorado and here's where all the storms are, up in Wyoming. I went, oh, I don't have to worry about that. Partly cloudy, we'll have plenty of sun. It'll be great. We'll get out there, do some photos. Boy, that changed. We were out here maybe an hour total, probably less. And I spent far too long walking up and down looking for that magnet. It's a bummer. I know I can get replacements. I see them. I saw them when I was buying the camera in the first place and getting the wireless mic. It's I assume, common thing that people lose, unfortunately, because it's just a tiny little square magnet that holds. It's fairly strong, which is good. But yeah, magnet goes on the inside of clothes so that at least if it falls off when you bump it or whatever, it stays and drops into a pocket or inside your shirt or wherever it is. I should know better than that, and I just didn't think about it this morning. And once I did think about it, it was too late. So that's a bummer. But I tell you, it's a lot less expensive to replace that for, like, overpriced, but I think $20 to get another magnet. Maybe I can get a multi-pack of some off-brand ones or something. That might not be as strong. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's a lot cheaper than the last mistake we made where I just walked off without the GoPro. Oh well. Making the most out of it. That was, I thought about that yesterday. I was watching a video where somebody was talking about, they just, self-deprecating, like I do, with just kind of downplaying their accomplishments, which you could ask me, and I don't have very many either. But they were just kind of talking about just making the most out of the time that we have here. And that's what I'm doing. This is what I like to do. I could be very easily at home playing video games. I have a lot of cleaning to do when I get home. But technically, and for whatever reason, this is the thing that I have chosen. It chose me, you could say. I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking today. I'm always kind of like thinking some thoughts one way or another. Does that even? Of course you are. As a human being, most people are thinking most of the time or distracting themselves from thinking, which is still in of itself a way of thinking. It's just not very productive in my opinion. For me, does not help to just try and distract myself. Usually I have to just think all the thoughts until they are thought, until they've been thunk. That's what it is. You think all the... It's a thought that you need to think about until you have thought about it enough and it is considered thunk and I can move on from it. I'm pretty sure thunk is not actually a word in the English language. Thinked? I think the thought? What am I saying? I need to go now. I don't know. I'm just out here having a good time. Making the most of it. That's what we did. Fog rolled in, so I switched from bird photography to fog photography and just did a couple shots and packed it up to head home. It's a quick trip out, but it'll be what it'll be. Maybe we'll have better weather next weekend. Snow should be coming at some point. Almost into November. We'll be in November by the time we come out next. It's getting cold. Definitely cold. And it will snow at some point. Maybe we'll get a pic. Oh, I want to go back to that spot with the big open fields that I went to a few months ago. That was recommended to me by some of the people at the birdwatching groups. That was for birdwatching, but while I was out there, I went, oh, this is a beautiful, just big open area that's enough up on a hill that you can really see the Rocky Mountains. And I need a clear day after there's been snow falling on the Rocky Mountains to get a really good shot of that. I'd like to do that this winter. I don't know when the weather will clear enough for that. It might be a next year, technically in the spring, where there's still plenty of weather, plenty of snow up on there, but we're to the point where it's cleared enough here, down off the mountain. Anyway, time to go. Not much today, but we saw what we saw. We'll see what we see next time. Bye, buddy. What a rambling bunch of nonsense today. Oh, I'm still going. Broken glass all over here. Wonderful. Damn it, people. That's really pretty sunrise.